So hi everyone, welcome back to Code of Hope, and we shall be continuing with our Django series tutorials that I've been having over time. So if you're building APIs with Django and you've ever read about your server getting overwhelmed by too many requests or hackers trying to spam your endpoints, then this video is a game changer for you. Today we are diving deep into throttling in Django. That is really a necessary technique to control how request rates and keep your app running smoothly. So why should you even stick around? Well, improper throttling can lead to downtime, skyrocketing costs, or even security breaches. But getting it right means you have a more reliable application which is scalable and all that. So whether you're a beginner or just starting with Django REST Framework or a seasoned developer trying to optimize performance, by the end of this, you will know exactly how to implement throttling to protect and supercharge your projects that you're currently working on. So let's start and see how this is implemented in Django. So it's always good to always look at documentations, and when you look at Django REST Framework, it's really very well documented. Everything about the framework is available in its documentation. So in Django, especially when working with Django REST Framework, throttling helps you prevent abuse, such as denial of service attacks, brute force attempts, or even just heavy usage from legit users that could bring down your server resources. Without throttling being implemented, a single client could hammer your server with thousands of requests per minute, leading to slow response times, database overload, or even complete crashes. So let's look at again how we can do this. So when you look at throttling here in Django, you're supposed to come up with a policy that you should configure in the settings file. So I'm going to copy exactly what we have here, and I'll put this into my settings file. So I'll go to my project right here, look for the settings application, and I'll put there my configuration. So I could put it, I think, somewhere here. So right there, we have our policies implemented. And this first one is for the anonymous users, and the user rate is for people who are currently authenticated. Then you have their throttling rates here. So as you can see, anonymous users can have 100 requests per day. Then those who authenticated can perform more requests per day. So these throttle values can be changed. Again, you can look at the documentation. So this can be per minute, this can be per hour, this can be per day, this can be per second. So maybe I'm going to change this first to per minute, so we see how it's being implemented. So I'll come back to my configuration and I'll change this to maybe 10 requests per minute. That is for the anonymous users. Obviously, we haven't yet covered authentication, so we're not yet authenticated here. So my focus is going to be around anonymous users. Now, if I come back and try making my requests, because I've said I need to perform 10 requests per minute, I think let me make this to 5. So we see how this is going to work within our application. So this is going to be 5 requests per minute for the anonymous users. So if I come to my place where I'm making requests from, and I try making requests to the product's endpoint right here. So since I've said I should be able to make only 5 requests per minute, so let me send my first request, second request, third request, the fourth, the fifth. So the next one should be blocked. As you can see, we have a status of 429, too many requests. So they're telling us our request was throttled, expected available in 56 seconds. So somebody should wait for this period of time before they can again be able to make some more requests. So as you can see, this is a really very good feature that prevents people from misusing the application that you've come up with. So let's wait for this 56 seconds and try again. So I have more 21 seconds of waiting. And after all this period is elapsed, then I can make another successful request to my server. And that shouldn't really be stopped by any one point during the making of the request. Okay, so let me send this. So right there, we now have again back access to getting our data from the endpoint. So you might ask yourself, because as of now, we have simply configured throttling for authenticated users and throttling for unauthenticated users. So now you can equally want to perform throttling for just individual URLs, where you specify that, okay, I want this particular endpoint to allow a given number of requests. Maybe I want users to access products in this number of thresholds. Then for this particular other endpoint, I need this number of. So we are going to be implementing something like that. So here we shall have multiple user throttle rates that can be implemented in the following ways using these particular classes. So we shall come up with a configuration file that is going to have this, which we shall eventually have to register to our settings file. So I'll copy these two configurations. Then I will come to my backend and I'll create a file called throttles.py. So I'll come and create my throttles here. Throttles.py. Throttles.py. So inside this file, I'll put there these throttle classes. So we have some problem. We should import this. So this is going to be imported from REST Framework Throttling. So I'll come and say from REST Framework .throttling, we are going to import the UserRateThrottle. Now that is perfect. And after doing that, we can now use this in our settings file. Just like we are going to be following the documentation. So our default throttle classes, we shall add to them these throttle classes that we have created. So I'll come here to my settings and I'll add them additional to what we have. So I change this to point to the name of your project. So this is my API .throttles. Make sure the spelling is correct. Throttles the burst rate throttle, and equally this is going to be my API .throttles the sustained. So equally we should define how many requests can the burst taken, either per minute or per day or per hour and so on. So you come and define them here. So I'll copy what they have. So copy this and I'll come and add it to my throttle rates here. So right there, and I'll change this. So for the burst, I'll make this maybe, since this was 5, I'm going to make this 10. And I can maintain this with 1,000 or even maybe 10,000, whatever you have to do. Now that we have this implemented, how do we apply them to the views where we want to have them operational from? So I can come to my application called default. I come to the views. So I have to import them. Yeah. So additional to my API view, I need to have access to throttle classes. So I'll put a comma here and I'll import throttle classes. So after importing throttle classes, I equally have to import these the sustained rate throttle and the burst rate throttle so that I apply them to particular views that I want to have them operational from. So I'll come and say from my API dot, then you specify that this is coming from the throttles. From API.throttles, we shall import, I hope this is okay. We shall import our burst rate throttle. Burst rate throttle. And our sustained rate throttle. So let me just copy this so I don't have problems with the import statements. From API.throttles, how come it doesn't find throttles? It's API dot okay, it should be throttles. Import our burst rate throttle and our sustained rate throttle. So for some reason this is not working fine. It's not finding our import statement, so I might need to restart my editor. But obviously when I look at my server, it's still running. That means the code is fine. Yeah, it's just that I have to restart it so it finds those import statements. As you can see, the server is really fine. So I'll come and decorate. So if at all I want to use my burst rate throttle, that means I'll be overriding the other overall anonymous user throttle. So I could come and say, right here for the product view, I want to add the throttle classes. So I come and say add throttle classes, open bracket, then I specify the throttle class I want to use, which is going to be the burst rate throttle. Now, after me doing this, it means this API now is going to be working with respect to the burst rate throttle, which is 10 requests per minute, as opposed to the anonymous, the initial that was working with 5 requests per minute. So let us check and see whether our throttle class is going to be applied successfully for the burst rate throttling. So back to our products endpoint that we are going to be performing the check on, I'm going to make the requests. So I'll send the first request. So this is one. The connection was refused. So let me restart this. So back on. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can see I've already passed 6. So 7, 8, 9, 10. So the next one is now going to be blocked. So as you can see, we have been able to pass the anonymous user thread and use our burst rate throttling that we have defined as a custom throttling for that particular endpoint. So this is ideally how you would apply throttling to any kind of project that you're working on. So I look forward to seeing us implementing throttling in all applications that you're going to be working with. So one thing you should note about throttling is it's not really about blocking everything. No, good throttling really improves fairness. It ensures better API performance under load, and can even tie you into monetization. Yeah, if you're running maybe something like a freemium service. So my recording for throttling will end there for now. I wish us the best of our programming.